Hello, leaders, and welcome to the weekend edition of Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So, when I was growing up and during my preteen years, I was hardly ever inside my house. I was outside doing stuff all the time. This was especially true during summer when school was out. But even during the school year, I'd get home from school, change clothes, and I was out of the house. I'd usually come home at dark or when I got hungry. And this was pretty much a daily routine. And you know what? My parents had absolutely no idea where I was or what I was doing most of the time. Sure, they could usually find me by either going outside and shouting for me or calling a few of my neighbors, but they really never knew exactly what I was doing or where I was. Well, my parents would be considered free-range parents in today's terminology. And many people today really frown on this whole idea. You can get reported and turned in as being neglectful parents in some cases by practicing free-range parenting. In the book Generation Z Unfiltered, Facing 9 Hidden Challenges of the Most Anxious Population, Tim Elmore explains how we should strive to be free-range parents again, much like the days of old, and how we can be both caring and free-range parents at the same time. The thing is, like many other parents, have been hesitant to give our kids the luxuries that we were privy to when we were growing up. And Elmore points out that many parents today are hesitant primarily because of fear. And this fear has molded us into being helicopter parents and to keep a close eye on our kids in everything they do. And in turn, it has shaped an entire generation of kids to be much different than we are. Instead of kids being exposed to risk and being able to make their own choices while playing unsupervised, like I was growing up, they now have parents ensuring the risk is acceptable while they watch nearly every move they make. Another thing that Mr. Elmore points out that I thought was critical is the fact that 20 to 30 years ago, we embraced this whole idea of it takes a village to raise a kid. In other words, we were much closer to our neighbors, and we actually knew each other and talked to each other often and even kept an eye on each other's kids, even if it was from a distance. Elmore points out that parents today feel like they're more in competition with each other as parents. So the bottom line is, and today's challenge, is that if we want to help our kids, we can begin by giving them a little more freedom. Elmore offers several ideas on how to become a free-range parent, and I'd like to share just a couple of these to kind of get you started. First of all, he says to start small by allowing them to take more risks. Second, allow them to fail. Yes, you heard me right. Failure is one of the best lessons for kids, and yet many parents today want to protect their kids from failure. If that's you, I want to encourage you to stop protecting your kids from failure. Instead, let them fail, and then sit down and talk it over with them. Encourage them to learn from the failure and to try again. Finally, as Elmore says, invite other neighbors in your neighborhood to get involved with your kids. Personally, go out and talk to them one-on-one. And, I believe this might be one of the biggest challenges because good old-fashioned face-to-face conversations have slowly faded away in our neighborhoods. And our kids just don't seem to play outside as much as they did 20 to 30 years ago. However, we can start small and take action. Start a conversation with your neighbors one by one at a time, and maybe have some kind of monthly get-together with all the families so you can all get to know each other. Now, I know this was a lot to take in today, but just try to think about it and process it, and let me know what you think. You can always connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, or you can always call me at 501-743-5614 just to chat. And yes, that is my personal cell number. Another option is to just reach out and email me, and that's at paulgrau, Paulgrau, at currentleadershipcoaching.com. Hey, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And as always, thank you for listening. Until Monday, run to your challenges.